So, Kavya, are you there?
Yes, sir.
It's just you and me then.
Mm.
Okay. When I finish this, I'd like to speak to you for 2 minutes. Okay.
Okay, sir.
I'll stop recording then and speak to you. I don't want that to
Okay,
go
sir.
everywhere. Okay. Okay. So I was unnecessary. I don't think Rasagna will come back. So uh, Valluvar's language has been analyzed by both uh, what's his name? Uh, Ariel, okay, mainly Ariel, and to a certain extent, even Zwelabel. Okay, Zwelabel also looks at the language, the syntax, and he says that there is a transformation that has happened. Uh, there is more and more syntax of the Sanskrit variety in the Kural. Okay, so he therefore says that it is not something which has anything to do remotely with Sangam literature, as some people claimed. They say that it is more like uh, New Tamil with quite a bit of Sanskrit in it. And then I was talking to you about this Tiruvallur Malai, which is some kind of uh, a celebration of the Tirukkural, and it is written by, I told you, for the different poets, and there are about 55 verses. There are 55 verses of this particular work, which is the uh, Tiruvallur Malai, Malai, or Malai only, I think. Now, Zwelabel says, in terms of uh, his religion, okay, there is quite a bit of controversy that surrounds Tiruvallur. And Zwelabel, uh, he says that his writings are didactic, but he's promoting a certain kind of ethics, but we know nothing of his personal life. That is one of the observation that has been made by Zwelabel as well as REL. Okay, now there are different, but the agreement is that it is a didactic, DIDACTIC. Didactic is something that tells you what is ethical and what you are doing is wrong. Okay, if it is not ethical, it will tell you that is not how you should do it this way. So all these people, even Kabir, Vemana, and all of them, they are all didactic or in their way of writing. Okay, now, like I said, we don't know who this person is. I gave you that quote by Ariel. It is an unknown, untitled book written by an unknown, unnamed author. That's what he called that book. And therefore, there are all kinds of claims that are made about who Valluvar actually was. Some Tamilian scholars claim that he was a Valluvan, Valluvan. So they say his name is not Valluvar. Valluvar is more of this thing. what do you say, respectful way of doing. He's Valluvan, and they say he was born in a lower caste. Okay, uh, he was born in a lower caste according to uh, some of these people. Uh, they claim that he was a parayar. Okay, you must have seen the English use of paraya, P-A-R-I-A-H. Paraya is the outsider, somebody, it is used for untouchables, people that you don't want to deal with. Okay, so they say that he came from a parayar caste, which is like a paraya caste. It is also, some people said he came from a Marayar caste. Some say that he came from a Sambavan caste. All these are different forms of low castes or lower castes. None of them are higher caste. Okay. Now, there is one particular uh, scholar who did, English scholar, who did some work on um, Stuart. His name is Stuart Blackburn. He did some work on Valluvar, and he says he is probably not from a lower caste because of the fact that he seems extremely learned. If you read the Tirukkural, and he says that Tirukkural was not a book originally written. Uh, it was an oral presentation. So this man was some kind of a minstrel who went around preaching, teaching. Okay, so there are there is this argument that Stuart Blackburn says that he is not from a lower caste. He is certainly somebody who came from a caste that had access to education. Okay, but I told you, when you look at the Varna system, uh, education was not denied to everyone, to anyone in the Varna system. Later, when it became the Jati system, that is when education became denied. Okay, so we don't know about that. So let's leave it at that. But Blackburn claims that Thiruvallur was somebody who wrote, who did not write. He only spoke, and somebody else noted these things down, like it is in the case of Aristotle. So he disputes the claim that he is a lower caste person. And then there are some people who claim that he is from a weaver, Weaver, weaver caste. His, but there is no proof. There is absolutely no proof. And so Stuart Blackburn basically claims that Stuart is written Stuart, not Stewart, Stuart. He claims that there is no this thing of no any kind of indication of Weaver, uh, his origins being in the Weaver caste, and he says that is completely nonsensical, the idea that he was from a weaver caste. Okay, and then some people claim that he came from the Vellalar. Okay, Vallar, Vellalar caste, which is a caste of agriculturists. Okay, or Varna of agriculturists, if you like. And this, some people have come to this kind of a conclusion based upon his uh, extolling the virtues of being an agriculturist. Okay, because he extols agriculture apparently. Like I said, it's all in Tamil, so I don't know. So he extols this, and therefore he is supposed to be from the some caste that does agricultural work. Then there is one claim that his mother was an untouchable and his father was a Brahmin. Again, there is no proof to this, so you have to dismiss it. There is one particular scholar who goes by the name of Raghava Iyengar. He claims that Valluva is a variation of Vallabha that you find in Sanskrit. Okay, and because uh, the other Indologists have said that he is somebody who shows great deal of learning. So he says he is Vallabha perhaps, and Valluva is the Tamil variation of it. And he was a royal officer, but in whose court? If he was a royal officer, in whose court was he doing this? And then there is another Tamilian scholar whose name is Vaiyapuri, Vaiya, Vaiyapuri, Vaiyapuri, Puri, Vaiyapuri Pillai, who says Valluvan is a low caste of royal drummers. Apparently, these people comes from that. And Pillai also says that Thirukkural himself is from the 6th century CE, not BCE. He's from 6th century CE. Now, Zwelabel says it is possible that he's from the 6th century because he says that only 35 words that you in all the 130 1330 couplets of the Kural, you find only 35 words which are Dravidian or of Tamil origin, and there are more than 102 Sanskrit words that are repeated again and again in various couplets. So Zwelabel says that he probably is not from an inferior caste. In fact, Zwelabel goes on to say that he can see the influences of the Artha Shastra and also the Manusmriti in the Kural, in the Tirukkural. Okay, he sees the influences of these. All right, and therefore he supports the date that Vaiyapuri Pillai provided as the date for this 6th century BCE as the, not BCE, CE, I'm sorry, 6th century CE is when he actually existed. But it is the government of Tamil Nadu has decided to go ahead with the idea that he was born in 31 BCE. They have the Tamil Nadu government, not of today, but in the days of the British. And his place of birth is yet another mystery. Some people say he was born in Mayalapur, Myalpore. Mylapore is today a part of Chennai, but at one time it was a little away from what was called the Chennapatna. Okay, so he was, some people say he was born there. Some people claim that he was born in Madurai. Okay, and there is another claim which says Tirunayanar Kurichi is the name of the place that he was born. Tirunayanar Kurichi is close to Kanyakumari. So none of these claims whatsoever are actually substantiated. Okay, there is no proof. People just have said these things without providing any proof. And that is why I say, studying this, what are we studying? Is this in any way political science? I don't know. You decide. Okay. Then Zwelabel believes that he was a Jain. He might have been a Jain. He doesn't say was. He sees traces of the Jain Arhat. If you remember, while we were doing uh, the Buddha, I had talked to you about Arhat. Okay, Arhat, according to the Mahayana school of Buddhism, is almost the enlightened. Okay, it doesn't, whereas the Theravada school says Arhat is one step below Bodhisattva, but the Mahayana school says Arhat is somebody who has already been enlightened. In Telugu, we have Arhata. Arhata is a qualification, which is enlightenment again. Okay. So the Arhat is supposed to be, he is supposed to be a Jain Arhat as far as Kamil Vaclav Zwelabel is concerned. And some people claim that he is a Buddhist. Okay, and this is a new claim, mainly from the what do you say? This particular claim comes from Dalit groups now, contemporary Dalit groups. They claim that he's a Buddhist, and some say he's a Buddhist Arahat, some say he's Bodhisattva. Okay, and when they called him Bodhisattva, there was a bit of a problem, because the staunch Buddhists are not those people who will agree to anybody and everybody being called Bodhisattva. Okay, they believe that the Buddha is the only Bodhisattva. Okay, so they would agree to the idea that he's an Arhat. Okay, but not to the idea that he is a Bodhisattva. Then there is a claim that he's a Hindu. Okay, and this claim comes from the fact that he was acquainted with the Sanskrit language. He was acquainted with the Manava Dharma Shastras, which are a combination of various Dharma Shastras. They say that his writings reflect his acquaintance. This is where the philology and also what is called a hagiography. Okay, Hagiography. A hagiography is, a description of somebody's life, somebody who is an ethical person. So they claim that this particular uh, thing they say is because, I mean, they say he's a Hindu based on the hagiography or of his knowing Sanskrit and knowing the Manava Dharma Shastras. But there is a bizarre claim, a very, very bizarre claim that he was a Christian of all people. Okay. And those who claim that he was a Christian say that he was alive at the time when the apostle, Apostle, apostle of Christ, whose name is Thomas, not Saint Thomas Aquinas. Please don't get confused by that. Saint Thomas Aquinas is not an apostle. Okay, uh, he's a saint. He's been sainted, but not an apostle. An apostle is a messenger of Christ. Okay, actually, the word comes from the Greek apostolos, Apostolos. Apostolos is a person who has been sent on some mission. Okay, so that is how the word missionary also comes into being, because he's been sent on a mission, the mission of Christ. Okay, so some Christians claim that he was influenced by the Sermon on the Mount and its contents as contents, sorry, not contents, content will become a different meaning, contents as shown by uh, Thomas, who was the apostle. So they claim that he was influenced by Christian ethics. And they say the Kural are nothing but uh, localizing of the teachings of Christ. Okay. But there are other people who say it doesn't matter who he is, he's been just given unnecessary importance, this man. And today he's being used by various people to serve various political ends for themselves. So we'll end it here. We can go on. This is not political science, so I think it's as good a time as anything to end. And like I said, that I have no way of understanding the Quran because I do not know the Tamil, the language. I can speak it a bit. Uh, at one time, I used to speak it quite fluently because of many Tamil tenants. But now, due to complete lack of practice, it's become extremely rusty. But I can't read Tamil. Okay, I cannot read Tamil. So I had to go by that book that I found, and so that's where it is. So we'll end with the Tiruvallur. Tomorrow, when I meet you, we'll pick up Kabir. So I'll end here.